Hard to believe it's been over 3 weeks since the Phoenix were inside Rhodes Stadium to wrap up the 2021 regular season in the win over Rhode Island. And what a busy 3+ weeks it's been as we welcome you inside the Walker Room from Alumni Fieldhouse and the Horace Hendrickson Football Center on what is National Signing Day 2021 of the head coach, Tony Trisciani, alongside a busy but productive 3.5 weeks.
It's been, Taylor, and this National Signing Day, I mean, most schools are signing 85% of their class on today, and we're really pleased with the group that we signed today, and just continue to build on our depth and our program and our culture.
You and I talk often about checklists, whether it's spring practice, whether it's leaving a preseason camp. I'm assuming there's a checklist of items that you wanted to get done with this group. How pleased are you with all that you got done?
Yeah, I'm very pleased. We've got numbers that we want to be at, benchmarks at each position, and specific positional needs. And because we're a developmental program also, we want to stay ahead, stay ahead of the departures. So, we know that at linebacker, that Jameer Malone and Vontae Chandler, this will be their final season with us, so we want to make sure we get a year ahead in adding a couple linebackers as opposed to bringing guys in next year's class. So we're always trying to stay a year ahead.
I mentioned earlier, last time we were in this building was the Saturday of Senior Day and the win against Rhode Island. One of 2 straight wins to wrap up the regular season, 3rd winning season in the last 4 fall campaigns. How important was that momentum with this cycle?
Yeah, the momentum's big. Yeah. We were able to send our seniors out as winners. We were able to, team morale of our returning guys is high. They're home for break right now, but when they get back on January 3rd and we get into our J-term and off-season program, those guys are excited to get back here and get back to work. And then we hit the road and we're going to visit the high schools and doing the home visits with a smile on our face as a coaching staff.
13 members in this early signing class, and you've talked often about wanting to have success in this state. Almost half of this class, 6 guys from the Old North State. Coach, there's 7 FBS programs from Murphy to Manteo. How important is it for your program to have success in this state?
It's real important, and we're committed to it. Yeah. We have contact with every high school coach in this state. Thanks to Hal Capps, our Director of High School Relations, he helps us maintain those relationships and identify prospects early. But we're getting around this state. About half of our team is from the state of North Carolina, so we're right on par with that, with this recruiting class and where we're at now. There's a lot of good football here in the state of North Carolina, and when you recruit kids in your own state, you know a lot more about them. Yeah. We get to see them at the camp. So you mentioned the 7 FBS schools. Well, they all host camps and recruiting camps, and those are important recruiting evaluation opportunities for us to see these kids. So we get to see them in camp, we get to follow their seasons, and it's easy for us to get those kids on campus for campus visits in the summer and then game day visits during the fall.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this class in depth. 20 different honors among the 13 signees, all the way from all conference and all state to all academic. With this university, how important is it to be able to bring in a student athlete that has had success on the field and in the classroom?
Right, so 12 of our 13 signees played in the postseason, so they're coming from winning programs. 11 of the 13 were team captains. Yeah. So you're bringing guys into our program who know how to win, they know how to be leaders, and that just helps our program culture along the way. They understand winning habits and how to be a good teammate and how to be followable, and that's important as they progress in our program. The academic end of it, some of those accolades, we've got some great students in this class as well. And for kids to be successful here, we go out on the road and we're looking for talent, character, passion, and we're looking for kids that value the Elon degree and the Elon experience academically. So if you're a guy who doesn't want to go to class and be involved in this type of these types of academic programs and expectations, then you're probably not going to be successful and be a good fit for us here. So those are the guys that we're going after.
You mentioned earlier several of your signees played in the postseason. Several of them come from very successful ball clubs. I think of a guy like Carlos Moore, who was at a top 20 program at St. John's College High School. I would think not only the individual success, but the team success is important as well.
It is, and they have those winning habits. They know what it's like to fight through adversity in a football game and be resilient. And Carlos comes from a high-level nationally ranked program, played against great competition. He's been in situations where there's some close games, and guys who are in those situations, they know what they need to do to be able to come out on the other end of it as winners.
You and I had a chance to visit throughout the season and talked about the improving Phoenix offensive front. I think about guys like Kevin Burkett, the true freshman, Zane Gilbert, and Jabril Wiggins, among others. You've added some depth into that spot with this class. I mentioned Carlos Moore, but also a guy like Tim Hogan. How important was it for you to build depth on that side?
It's critically important, and you mentioned I'm pleased with the development of that group up front, especially without a true offseason. You go the last 20 months, really, it's been an atypical offseason going from spring to a fall, and our offseason got shut down in 2020 in March, right in the middle of spring ball, so we lost that whole summer phase of development. So our offensive line, Jabril Williams and Jack Cutler and Zane Gilbert and Luis Duarte, like those guys, they have not had a full off-season program yet, though they've still continued to develop and are starting to have more success up front. So we are intentional about building the group behind them so we don't have to be in this situation again where we are playing freshman offensive linemen.
5 different spots, not only the offensive linemen, but 5 different groups with multiple guys in this class. We talk about building depth up front offensively, but Coach, it feels like the Phoenix are starting to build depth at multiple spots.
And that's what we need to do, Taylor. We are committed to being a developmental program, okay? So, we want guys here for 4-5 years, redshirt them if we can. This class right here, there's none of these guys in this class that we are expecting to come in and have to play for us. Yeah. If that were the case, then I'd say we've made some mistakes in the previous recruiting classes. Some of them may, and we do always have some freshmen that surprise us and play early in their careers. But we are committed to being a developmental program where we will recruit some transfers, but we're not relying on the portal. A lot of schools are right now. And we will take a transfer if it's the right guy and the right need for our program, but we are committed to recruiting high school kids and developing them here at Elon.
Everybody focuses on the 3+ weeks from the end of the regular season until our visit this afternoon. But you have said before, this recruiting cycle, for lack of a better phrase, is a 12-month per year cycle. And Coach, I know that when they get on campus, there's a lot of different people that are involved in this process.
There are, and I'm real proud of our coaches, our staff who went on the road and did a great job over the last 3 weeks as well as the last 12 months. And it starts in the summer. We're at camps all summer. Well, a lot of folks are vacationing. Our guys are out at camps and evaluating prospects, and then we're working hard to get them here on campus and to home games. And when we do that, we're asking others to help. And we're fortunate. We've got a lot of support within our department, our admissions staff, our support staff, because those are the folks we call on during the summer. Yep. And on the weekends when we have kids on campus. So, I can go down the list, and it starts here in the athletic department with Jeffrey Scheibel and Lisa Lane, who put together our letters of intent and work with admissions and help us from that standpoint. And then our unofficial visits and official visits when we're asking our faculty members to help out. Dr. Ken Gaither and our academic support, Casey Crenshaw and her staff, Paul Hasdovic in career development. Our media folks, Jason Knavel and Abby Lipsick, they've been instrumental in promoting our brand and making this signing day, these signing day events happen. So there's a lot of people that I'm really thankful for around this campus that help us in the recruiting process.
You mentioned this campus, one of the nation's most beautiful campuses on a daily basis. How important is this campus in the process?
Oh, it's big. You know, when we get families on campus and they get to see how beautiful this place is, that's how you want to start a visit. You know, and then you get them around and you see our facilities. Our facilities are very competitive in our league and at our level, and they're well maintained. And then it's the people. You know, you get to meet the people in the athletic department, in our support staff, and when we have, you know, when I meet with the parents at the end of an official visit weekend, you know, it's the conversations are always, it's about our people and about our players that are involved in the recruiting process and our player panel, and that's what these families want to talk about. And I agree. We've got a beautiful campus, great facilities, and some really fantastic people around our players and our program.
The win at home over Rhode Island back in November capped the home schedule. I can think of great crowds for each home game. I can think of the recruiting visits being down on the field, but I can think of the overall pageantry of a Saturday at Rhodes Stadium. Boy, it feels like that if I'm a 17, 18-year-old prospect, the pageantry of what we have created on a game day means something.
It does, Taylor. And, you know, we had 70 to 90 recruits at our home games, you know, family weekend, homecoming, the UNH game, you know, which was around the night of the Phoenix event. You know, so when you've got 90 kids on campus and you've got 10 to 12,000 people in Rhodes Stadium on a Saturday and the Phoenix Walk and the tailgating events that are going on around here, you know, that's going to help you win some recruiting battles.
Happy holidays.
Thanks, Taylor.
That's head coach Tony Trisciani. I'm Taylor Durham. We'll see you in September for Elon football from Rhodes Stadium.